Greetings folks, and I hope you're drift compatible wherever you are in collecting land. And welcome back to the channel for another 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. Well, I say 1/6 scale, if it was actually 1/6 scale, this figure would probably come in at about 45 feet tall. But fortunately for us, it comes in about the same size as your average 1/6 scale figure. But that's about all that's average about this figure. Yes, folks, it is the long-awaited, by me at least anyway, Infinity Studios' take on everyone's favourite Jaeger, Gipsy Danger, from the 2013 Guillermo del Toro directed movie Pacific Rim. But before we dive in, I'd like to send a Crimson Typhoon-sized shout out to everyone who supported the channel. And please drop a like and hype on this review as it helps other people find Go Figure. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon, so you're sure not to miss any of the 1/6 scale news, reviews, previews, tours, showcases, and all that other good stuff that we've got coming up. So, as regulars to the channel will know, I love Del Toro, and it's just a crying shame in my world that he didn't direct Hellboy 3, Blade 3, and of course the sequel to Pacific Rim. I ask you, what's not to love about huge Jaegers fighting enormous kaijus in the middle of our favourite cities? But that's enough of my mech meanderings onto the box. Usual format here, folks. We're going to have a look at the box, then it'll be out with the accessories. We'll take a look at the figure, and we'll be wrapping the whole thing up with the usual showcase at the end. Let's stop this guy from spinning. And while we're doing that, actually, I'd like to send a big shout out to Antivoc over on eBay there for actually sourcing me this figure. Big shout out to them for getting this to me. There will be a link in the description below to their eBay page if you're wanting to check out the other stuff that they've got on the site there. So yeah, massive thanks to them. But the box itself, very imposing. And a very heavy box too. We're looking at a lot of die cast in this figure, but it's a simple slipcover design. What you've got on the front here is a shot of the Jaeger itself, of Gipsy Danger. It says Gipsy Danger at the bottom there, Pacific Rim top right hand corner, and Infinity Studios logo top left. And in the background there you've got this sort of military style backdrop going on. It's not in your face, it's quite subtly done, but I do like it, quite classy. Around the sides, you've got a continuation of those sort of grey, of those blacked out images there. It says Gipsy Danger on the side there as well. Pacific Rim on this side. Nothing on the top and bottom of this because it's a slipcover design with a polystyrene inner box. Around the back, you've got all the usual credits and warnings. Don't piss this figure off, or it might destroy Hong Kong. But yeah, that's the back of the box, and another picture of Gipsy Danger as well. Removing the slip cover, you are greeted with that polystyrene box and a set of instructions as well, which is great to see. Put that slip cover to one side. Yeah, I'm liking the design of this box a lot. They've not bothered with an internal art box and gone straight in with the polystyrene plastic cover on the front. Underneath, Gipsy Danger. I'm assuming underneath that is the stand. You've got the limited accessories around the side there, and I just think it's really, really well done. And I'm glad to see that they've gone with this polystyrene internal box over at Infinity Studios to protect the figure itself. So that's the box, folks. So without further ado, brand new figure, this just come through the door. No thanks to Royal Mail. It's traveled the world several times over before it's arrived here, but it's here now. So let's crack the seals open, dive down onto the table, and have a look at all the accessories you get with your Gipsy Danger figure. Okay folks, so seals broken, and I was only joshing when I said meager accessories in the unboxing section. You get a shit ton of stuff with this particular figure. But before we dive in, I just want to say actually that this was probably up there with one of my most eagerly anticipated figures of 2025, and would have been reviewed in 2025 had Royal Mail not chosen to send it on a whistle-stop tour of the world rather than to me. So yeah, a bit late to the party with the review on this one, but I get a distinct feeling this could have figured quite heavily in my top 10 figures of 2025 had it arrived on time. But enough of my Royal Mail bashing. Onto the accessories. What do you get? Let's start with the mundane stuff. As we covered in the unboxing, you get this rather nice set of instructions. And I've got to say, Infinity Studios here, I think, have done a cracking job. Rather than the mundane piece of fold-out paper, they've given us a full-colour booklet here. And this covers just about everything from inserting the button cell batteries, which we will get to the articulation, the moving parts, to posing it, adding all the bits and pieces. Now everything works. So yeah, a lot going on with this figure. So if you are picking it up, I would recommend reading this. So yeah, that's the instruction booklet. You also get this rather nice, what I'm going to assume is a certificate of authenticity in this little paper envelope. Rather nicely done in gold and black, and yeah, a sort of embossed card here with this high gloss finish, really nice, and something going on the back there. So yeah, possibly a warranty card, possibly a certificate of authenticity, maybe both, who knows. Put those to one side. What else do you get? Let's start with the fun accessories. Well, they're all fun, but let's start with this boy. It's all plastic, and it is a 1/6 scale take on the cargo ship that Gipsy Danger uses to bash the living bejesus out of a kaiju. Great inclusion, really like it. Solid plastic, got some weight to it this, it's got some heft to it. It feels like it's a really heavy duty plastic. You've got this red paint application on the bottom there, black on the side and then grey on the top. The detailing is really nice, it's crumpled, it's battered, and it will fit in his hand down at this end here, so you can have him swinging it around if you so wish. But paint applications are good. You've got some sort of dry brushing on the top of the ship there to give it that weathered look. There's dry brushing on the grey areas, and overall detailing is really nice, damage is good, and an excellent inclusion. I think a great little piece of a great little accessory to give that extra depth to the figure in the display. Pop that to one side. Talking of cargo, you get these crumple cargo containers that Gipsy uses to punch the kaiju in the face with. Another great little inclusion, sculpted plastic. This deep red paint application along with this white paint application with weathering on there. The crumpling, the creasing, the metallic look, all excellent and a great little inclusion. What else? Let's start with the weapons. Now, you get the chainsaw, and you get quite a few variations on the chainsaw. You get the sort of semi-extended, but not fully extended. Now, these are done in a solid plastic, there's no give in these, painted with this sort of gunmetal grey paint application with some dry brushing over the top there to pick out the details. Really nicely done. You get two of these for either arm, and they attach via these little slots that we'll look at when we bring Gipsy Danger out. Two slots on either arm, simply press fit them in. But it also comes with two fully extended chainsaws. Now these are slightly different in their production. These are made out of a softer plastic that feels like it may have a wire running through, so it gives it some flexibility. So you can actually pose these if you want. If you're wanting to shape them, you can do so. I would say be a little bit careful with them. You won't want to snap them. There's a decent amount of give in there, but yeah, I think you could probably overextend these, which would maybe damage them or snap them, or maybe even crack that paint application. So yeah, exercise caution, but great inclusion. And once again, you've got that metallic grey paint application and washes over the top to give it the final look and pick out the details. So yeah, another great inclusion there. What next? Let's take a look at the plasma cannons, the swap out plasma cannons. Arms are removable. You get two of these for either arm. And it's the first time we start to see, let's take a look at one of them because they're pretty much identical. You start to see the paint applications for the first time and the level of detail that Infinity Studio are packed in here. And I've got to say, I am super impressed from that blue, that deep blue metallic paint application for the overall colour itself. Then you've got these sections that move out. There's no give in these sections, they're all solid, but underneath you've got the workings of the plasma cannon itself. You've got sculpted in wires, they're all done in plastic. And yeah, it's weathered. You've got silver paint applications there to give it that weathered look if the light's catching this. It's dirtied up. You've got the red and the white as well on the metallic sections. And at the top here, you have the actual light up feature. Now, I'm going to try and attempt to get this out. Well, I say I'm going to attempt to get this out on camera. I have sausage fingers, and getting these things out is not the easiest thing in the world. But what you do is Probably need a, oh no, this one is actually coming out. There are 3 little tabs on either side there, and with a little bit of finagling, you'll get this top section off, and it's got a translucent plastic on the front there, and there's a section here for the LED, which we are going to come to. We're going to talk about the light up features on this, on this particular figure. Let's put that to one side. So that's the plasma cannons, but you also get the firing effect for the plasma cannons as well. Now, collectors of 1/6 scale figures will recognize this material instantly, used by numerous companies to create plasma effects, lightning effects, and all points in between. Now this simply slots on the top of the LED section on the plasma cannon itself, press fits, and you've got that light up feature underneath, and hopefully the light will transfer through the effect itself. The good news is these have got some flexibility to them. All too often I find these kind of effects can be super brittle and snap really easily, but this one's got some play to it. I wouldn't overstretch it, but it's a softer material, so yeah, far less likely to break that. So that's the plasma cannons and the plasma cannon effect. You also, talking of effects, you also get these, which are a harder resin material. You get these 2 blue ones, these attached to the back of the figure. We'll look at that when we bring it out. These are the thrusters on his back, and you also get 2 elbow thrusters as well. These are done in a more orange and yellow resin, and they look really, really effective. Very, very nicely done, nicely sculpted, nicely detailed. So put those to one side. While we are talking light effects, we'll get the bugbear, the big bugbear I've got with this figure out the way straight away. It is all powered by button cell batteries. The plasma cannons that we've just looked at, also the helmet, which we'll take a look at, and also the light effects in the shoulder armor as well, are all powered by these tiny, tiny little LEDs. You have to put these things in. You're going to need a set of these batteries. Now these are LF521Fs or A0s, and probably the smallest battery in the history of the known universe. Incredibly fiddly, and as regulars to the channel will know, I have sausage fingers. Getting these things in is a complete ball ache. It's going to be a nightmare. This is my big bugbear with this figure. We'll get, as I say, let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. It's 2026. Well, it was 2025 when this was produced. It's a high-end figure. It should have been USB powered. I'm going to say that now and get it out of the way. Regulars to the channel will know my feelings on button cell batteries. I loathe them with a vengeance. But yeah, you have to fit into these tiny, tiny little things a couple of those batteries, and then actually insert them into the plasma cannons, one in the back and one in the helmet. Talking of light up features, I've actually removed this section. This is the chest section. Now this has a light up feature as well. We'll look at it in action when we bring out the figure, but once again, it's button cell battery powered. And for this one, you are going to need, I think it's 2 of these L44s. Which fit in the compartment at the back here, which you remove with a screwdriver. Well, it's actually press fitted actually, and you remove this section here, then insert the batteries, and then reinsert it into his chest, and it's activated by a magnet, as are all the other light up features. So yeah, that's the my enormous bugbear out of the way. Let's move on. Let's take a look at the helmet if we're talking about light up features now. That's the reason why we're not looking at this, we're looking at this separately, is because of the light up feature. You've got a removable section on the top here, and I'm going to try and do this on camera. You get your finger under the rim of his helmet there, give it a little bit of a tease, not too much pressure, and the compartment will pop off. There is a spot in there for one of those little LEDs, and it will light up the visor as well. But let's talk about the sculpt and paint application on this. And I've got to say, I am very, very impressed if I can get his helmet back on. Yeah, I think it's very, very well done. I'm loving the shade of blue that Infinity Studios have gone for here. I think it's spot on. The detailing is great. That metallic paint application on the neck area with the silver dry brushing is really, really nice. Yet to see it light up. They've even included the grid in the visor section, which is great to see. They could quite easily have just skimped on that, but they haven't. The level of detailing here is great. The articulation in this head is a bit limited. It's on a ball joint there, so you'll get some movement side to side and a little bit forward and backward. And then the neck area itself actually is magnetically attached to the body when you put the whole thing together. So that is the head. You also get this little magnet for actually activating all the batteries as well, all the light up features as well. It's great to see that it's not being done by buttons. It's magnetically activated, but I would rather have not seen that at all. You also get these two flaps for the back. Once again, that same level of detailing here, and it's really the detailing and the paint applications here that I think Infinity Studios have absolutely excelled at here. The weathering on here, the color tone, the screen accuracy, and the detailing. These simply have pegs on the back. They slot into the back. You don't have to have them if you don't want to. A lot of the armor is movable, so you can articulate it, as we mentioned, but we will get to these when we bring the figure out. So let's pop those to one side. And finally, the base. This enormous base. All one piece of sculpted plastic, and it's got some heft to it. This boy, you're going to need some acreage in your display if you're wanting to use this. Very, very big indeed. Quite hefty as well, which is good to see. There's no sort of feet on the bottom or base section covering the bottom here. Would have liked to have seen that. Hairs already being attracted. I would like to have seen that with maybe some feet on it as well to give it a little bit more stability, but it ain't going anywhere. It really is a chunky piece of kit, this, and I love what Infinity Studio have done here. The sculpting is really nice. It's to sort of give it that Jaeger Station launch pad look, and I think it just looks absolutely excellent. All done in this sort of metallic grey paint with a shine to it. You've got this black section on the top here, which is more matte. There are silver dry brushing all over this to pick out the details. You've got pipes, you've got this sculpted edging here, looks phenomenal. And overall, I think it's just a super impressive base, and it really, I think it gives the figure a grounding that it needs. I think freestanding on its own without something like this, it will look impressive, but this really gives it that next level of presence. And also, you get this nameplate. Now, I've got to say, I was a little bit disappointed on taking this out of the box. Having seen other Pacific Rim figures from Infinity Studios, not had them in hand, but seen pictures and reviews and so on. You've got Cheno 1, you've got Crimson Typhoon, and I was expecting for this base that we would have some mini LEDs that fit into these holes around the side here, around the edges that you can see, and maybe in these holes as well, that were magnetically activated. But it looks like they haven't gone down that route with this one. It looks like they've missed them out. Whether that is intentional, I've got to assume so, because they're not mentioned in the instructions. So maybe they've just stopped doing it. I don't know. But yeah, a little bit disappointed about that. But the nameplate that comes with this is really great. It's all one piece of, well, two pieces of plastic. You've got this separate piece on the inside here. The sculpted edging there is meant to reflect the base itself, and does so really well. And then you've got Pacific Rim underneath this clear cover in gold with a black background, and it's really nice. Now, well, it's more than nice. I think it's beautiful. I really like that a lot. Now, as I thought that this section here would have a magnet in it, because you could also use this to activate the light up features, but it looks like, once again, Infinity Studios have stopped doing that, which is a shame. I would have liked to have seen that magnet on the back there. But yeah, you can really you can put this this nameplate pretty much in any of the holes on the base that you want to use. I'm erring towards having it at the front like that, and I think, yeah, that just finishes this base off beautifully. I think they've done some cracking work here, Infinity Studios. I think this is super impressive, and I am looking forward to getting Gipsy Danger on it. So there you have it, folks. That's the accessory. So without further ado, let's bring out the huge Jaeger. Let's get him on this amazing stand and take a close-up look at him. Okay, folks, so here's everybody's favorite Jaeger. It's Gipsy Danger, straight out of the box, straight onto that spectacular stand, and my turntable is groaning under the weight of this this figure. First impressions, well, let's talk about the chunk that this figure's got. Super heavy. There are tons of die casting going on in this figure. Yeah, there's some plastic for the armor on the outside, but it's got some serious weight to it, and it feels incredibly sturdy, incredibly well made straight out of the box. I would say this probably weighs more than your average Hot Toys die-cast Iron Man figure. It's that weighty. But yeah, first impressions. Well, what can I say? It makes me want to go back and revisit the movie immediately. It looks phenomenal. I've always wanted a Gipsy Danger figure in the collection, and I've hung out and hung out. Many other companies have had a go at this figure. I'm going to chance my arm and say I don't think anyone's done it quite as well as Infinity Studios have here. The presence is there in spades. The detailing looks phenomenal. The paint applications look superb. I am blown away, as I sort of expected I would be, but enough of my gushing. Let's do as we always do and have a close-up look at him. Let's stop him from spinning and get him off this fabulous base and up close into the camera. Oh, worth mentioning at this point as well, I think that there are some magnets in this base. I don't think they're super strong, but it does feel like there is some, as you can see there. It won't pick the base up, but there is a magnetic pull. The feet are metal, and there are magnets in there as well. So just to keep him sturdy on the base itself, you've got magnets going on in there as well. I'm going to try and pick this guy up. Let's start with the feet, as we always do, and work our way up. And yeah, we've definitely got magnets going on in the bottom there, as you can see. As I say, they won't. They're probably not going to give it an enormous amount of support. But at the end of the day, these feet are so huge. He really does feel incredibly stable with or without the magnets, to be honest with you. First thing I noticed is the splits here, the super smooth splits in these feet. It's great. You've got them front and rear, so if you're going for those dynamic poses, it shouldn't be an issue. You've got this beautifully sculpted and painted, I want to say boot tread, but it's not. It's just this metallic look underneath. And you can see where the hinges are there for these feet. Feels super smooth. Really, it's initially it's the level of engineering that's gone into this piece that impressed me. But yeah, let's work our way upwards. The feet themselves. Now, combination here. I think you've got metal underneath. I think these back sections may be metal. Front sections are plastic, but with the sole of the foot being metal itself. Paint applications. Absolutely on point. That beautiful blue, deep blue hue. You've got silver dry brushing to represent the scratching and the wear there. It's not overdone. It's just right for me. You've got it on the toe section there that lifts, and then underneath these feet you can see the detailing underneath for the first time. You're seeing all the inner workings of the Jaeger itself, all done in this fantastic gunmetal paint application. Working our way up. Now, let's talk articulation with these legs before I gush any more about this armor. These legs are on a super sturdy joint, and what really impressed me, once again straight out of the box, was as you open this leg up, you can see that piston move on the inside. The whole knee pad itself separates, and if the light's catching this, you can actually see the pistons underneath there, which have been painted as well, and weathered as well. Super smooth, and just a thing of engineering beauty. I think it just works so well. You'll probably get the leg up to about there, and you can see inside all the detailing going on. I believe the skeleton of this mech is actually metal, and that's what is giving it that super smooth action, but it just feels beautiful. It really does. Let's just zip him around the back so you can see the detailing on the back here, and you have to manhandle this guy. He is heavy, and the detailing on the back as well is just superb, from these vents on the back here that have got that sort of gold, almost bronze tint to them. You've got the red stripes that are weathered. You've got all the functioning parts and pistons visible, and even these sections here as well have been painted and weathered within an inch of their lives. And you can see that action working at the back there as well when you move that leg. Never has a figure been more fun to actually articulate than this one, I don't think. It is just super smooth, and it feels like you're holding a very expensive piece of machinery, which is what you should feel, I think, when you hold Gipsy Danger. Moving up to the thigh section, that paint application is continued. It's all panelled off. The tops of the legs here, once again, are plastic, but with that metal endoskeleton going on. Silver dry brushing everywhere. It sort of speaks for itself, this figure. It's everywhere you look on this figure, the detailing and the paint applications are superb. And once again, at the waist section there, you can see all the internal workings and the pistons. Now, there are several moving parts on the armour here to allow you to articulate it. Not so much in the leg area, they move themselves when you move the legs, but we'll check out the other moving parts when we go slightly further up. I'm going to try and plant him here in front of the camera so I can get both hands involved. The detailing on the abdomen section here, now these two sections do move as you would, so they will actually flex with the figure, as will these side sections. So if you're going for a super dynamic pose, you can actually bend these two sections out here, which gives you more room to maneuver and also gives you the opportunity of looking inside and just seeing the level of detailing here. That's cold to the touch inside there, so yeah, all metal, I'm assuming this skeleton on the inside, but yeah, once again, tops of those pistons are painted and weathered, just a thing of beauty. And these two sections at the waist as well, they've got some give in them as well for when you're moving right and left. Now, talking of articulation at the waist, you've got a forward and backward movement, which most of that comes from the chest area, but there is also a sideways movement as well. If I can get this guy to move, and you just push these two sections from the back there, and they will flex outwards as well. I'm going to try and do this on camera and get him to spin a little bit. There you go, it's brand new. Literally, this is the first time he's moved, so you can see the level of movement that you've got there. I've had less movement in your bog standard 1/6 scale action figure than you've got here. Great to see. So you can have those full twisting motions there of him going into battle. You can really muck about with this to your heart's content. The chest itself is always going to be a little bit less flexible because of the sheer weight and bulk of this thing, but overall I think it looks great. You've got that turbine in the chest area there. This lights up, as we mentioned, in the accessory section, and we'll look at all the light up features when we're going for the final verdict on this guy. Chest plate, beautifully done. Screen accuracy there in spades. You've got the Gipsy Danger symbol on the right hand side of that chest plate. Silver dry brushing all over, and it's the intricacy of the details if the camera is catching this. Every little panel, every little area has been super detailed, and chef's kiss to Infinity Studios on this one. Moving up to these shoulders. Now, these shoulder pads do move. This shoulder armor rather does move, and I'm going to try and do this on camera. As I say, this is my first time with this figure, so if I'm a little clumsy with it, bear with me, but you can actually get these to lift up. The arms themselves will move out, a la the sort of Robocop figures, so you can get more movement in them. They'll lift up and they will come out, and the arms themselves, the complexity of the joint they're on here is amazing, because you've got movable sections here at the front, and if I can just get them to do this without damaging him, I believe you actually move the arms out the way like that, and then these sections here and corresponding on the other side, if I can get my other hand in here, it doesn't want to work. They're actually spring loaded, these, but they will move out the way, so you can get that movement in the arm, as you can see there, without endangering rubbing the armor itself. So you'll get a full range of motion out this arm. I believe it's on a huge ball joint underneath there, but we'll lift it up so you can just see the detailing underneath the arm as well. And it's they haven't skimped in any area here at Infinity Studios, and I'm going to flex this arm so you can see the beauty of this thing in motion as that joint flexes there, and you'll probably get about a 45-degree angle off the arm itself, but you don't really need that much more. Detailing inside the hands is absolutely superb. That silver paint application on the palms, let's move it back a little bit so you can see this. Very, very nice indeed. The fingers themselves, now these are articulated in the same way we'd see with, say, a 3-0 Optimus Prime figure, and you've got multiple joints going on. Now these are very, very stiff. It's brand new figure, literally the first time they've moved, but I like to see these kind of joints stiff, and they're not. By the looks of it, I'm going to chance my arm here, it doesn't look like they are held in with a peg joint. Now I've seen this done in other figures. Let's move him back ever so slightly, where the individual fingers are held in by a peg joint and it becomes loose over time. These look like they're not held in that way. It looks like they're actually fully engineered to fit over the back of the hands there, which is once again great to see, and they've got that beautiful flex to them as well. Same on this right hand side. The level of detailing down the shoulders in the paint applications is just it's just beautiful, a thing of beauty here. You've got the armor on the gauntlets here, and even down to the detailing, the writing all over this thing around the back. Let's have a look at the back area here. Worth mentioning at this point as well, we talked about the button cell batteries earlier. This is magnetically attached, this section, so if you just lift this off, that's where the LED goes. We have inserted the LED. It's flopping around a little bit in there. I need to actually straighten that out, but it should sit in there, but we'll come back to that. And it's got the world's smallest push button. Now I'm not sure whether once you reattach this back section of the armor here, and because it doesn't cover this in the instructions, whether you can actually push this or not. I think you have to remove this piece, press the very, very small button in there, and then you've got plastic which will carry the light up to the tips of the armor itself up here. Now I've had this lit up, and I will, as I say, we'll light the thing up fully before we go in for a final verdict. Not the most impressive light travel in a 1/6 scale figure I've seen, but it's there. The helmet we've already touched on, absolutely superb. It's it's magnetically attached, as I say, so you've got a certain amount of movement in there, and you can muck around with it. Once it's in, you're pretty limited on the right and left movement and the forward and back movement, but there is some articulation there. But overall, a thing of beauty from the lettering, the decals, the weight, the paint applications, all absolutely excellent. So I think what we need to do here is go in for a final verdict on this guy. Let's get him all lit up, let's get him in a pose, and go in for a final score on Gipsy Danger. Okay folks, so it's verdict time on Infinity Studios' take on Gipsy Danger from Pacific Rim. But before we go in for a score out of 10, let's let our eyes wander over the beauty that is this version of Gipsy Danger. And I've got to say, it is an absolutely stunning piece. Few things that came out of just getting him in a pose for the first time and attaching all the bits and pieces. It's the level of detailing here that really separates this piece out. The chain sword here, to actually access the slot where it press fits, the armor actually lifts up on the arms. It's little things like that that just make this figure a joy to work with and a joy to pose. Let's talk about the light up features before we go in for that final verdict as well. I have the little magnet, and let's see what this thing can do. So let's try the there you go, that's the chest generator working there, and as you can hear, it's quite noisy. It's got a little motor going on in there, and it lets off quite a noise. That could be a little bit quieter, but it's not something I'm going to be using that often. But there are two settings on this. Let's go in for you can actually have it stationary if you want and lit like that, which is, if I'm going to have that feature, use that feature in the display, then I'll have it like that, simply because the din that the motor lets off inside there, as you can hear, is a bit problematic. But let's turn it off for actually let's leave it on, but not spinning. The other light up features, the helmet light up features, now we're under some very, very strong white LED lights here, and that's not going to do the light up features on this any favors at all. But as you can see there, the helmet lights up. You'll see all these light up features in the showcase at the end, as usual, and you'll probably see them in better detailing when they're under lighting that isn't quite as bright as this. But that helmet lights up really, really well. You get that sort of yellow glow coming through that gridded faceplate, and it looks excellent. Probably the only light up feature really here that doesn't work very well is the LED feature in the back section there, in that armor section. The battery that you put in there, or the LED rather, is carried by these sort of plastic lead lights up to the two sections on either side here where it's supposed to come through, and it just doesn't work very well, unfortunately. It's just it's not a feature I would use, but yeah, be wary of that if you're thinking of picking this figure up. Those backlights don't work really that well at all, but really that's not what we're here to see with this figure. It is just simply an amazing piece of engineering here from Infinity Studios. From the build quality is phenomenal, the joints, the articulation, the paintwork is superb. Let's spin him round here so you can just take in all the detailing that Infinity have managed to pack in onto their version of Gipsy Danger. Paint is great, the detailing phenomenal. We've got the thrusters on his elbows there. They'll only work when the arm is obviously at a certain angle, but they work really well. The press fit once again. Let's talk about this plasma cannon. Beautiful detailing on there. As with the rest of the lighter features, it's magnetically activated, and you get this deep blue light coming through the end there. Now I prefer it without the plasma effect. This does tend to dissipate that LED light somewhat and dims it. It doesn't work quite as well for me, and I also I prefer the clean look without it on, but really it's great to see Infinity Studios including it. The joints, superb, super smooth, and I think that's down to the endoskeleton being made out of metal. Around the back we've got the thrusters on the back there. Those two plates are press fitted, as we mentioned in the accessory section, and then you simply press fit the two acrylic blue flame effects, and they look great as well. Obviously they do limit articulation, so I would say be careful if you're displaying it with those, but the detailing from that spinal column there that you can see to those plates of armor that are raised on the back there, all absolutely incredible, and it just comes off as a feat of engineering, this thing. Loving the chainsword, as we mentioned, how that press fits and how that works with the figure, the fact that it's flexible. Overall, I think what Infinity Studios have done here is, and I don't have another Gipsy Danger figure in the collection. As I said before, I was hanging out for this one, but I am so glad that I did. I think, is it Gong Studios have done one? I know NECA did a quarter scale version of this. There have been a number of statues out there, but it was the 6-scale version, a definitive 6-scale version that I was after, and I think Infinity Studios have pulled it off. A feat of engineering and a thing of beauty. The downsides, and there are a few. The major one, obviously, is going to be Mr. Go Figure's biggest bugbear, the button cell batteries to power the LEDs. What an absolute missed opportunity from Infinity Studios. Should be USB powered. A figure that is this high end, that is built to this quality, really should have been USB powered, and it's a real shame that it isn't. I am not a massive one for light up features, as regulars to the channel will know, but this kind of figure really does sort of beg to have light up features, and it is such a ball ache getting those minuscule button cell batteries into those LEDs and then getting them into the actual sockets themselves. It just really takes all the fun out of 1/6 scale figure collecting for me, and it would have been so easily solved had they gone down the USB route. But it is what it is. That is my only gripe with this figure. Everything else is absolutely nailed on. Scale, proportions, detail, paint applications, articulation, build quality, it's there in spades. However, it's let down by the light up features. So that is going to affect the score, unfortunately, and I so wanted to give this figure a 10 out of 10. And pretty much in every other area it is a 10 out of 10. As I said, the definitive 1/6 scale Gipsy Danger. However, it's let down by that playground mistake of not going USB. So it pains me to say it, but I'm going to give this a 9. I so wanted to give it a 10, and it is so worthy of that 10. It is a phenomenal piece. If you're a fan of Pacific Rim, if you're a fan of mechs, if you're just a fan of amazing engineering and 1/6 scale figures, this is simply superb, and I can't recommend it enough. But it loses that 1 point for not going USB. So there you have it, folks. That is Infinity Studios' take on Gipsy Danger from Pacific Rim. What are your thoughts on this figure? Is it something you've got in your collection? Have you got it on pre-order? What are your thoughts on Guillermo del Toro? What are your thoughts on the movie? What are your thoughts on Infinity Studio? What are your thoughts on anything at all? Nothing is off menu, so please drop a comment in the comment section below. What have we got coming up on the channel? Well, plenty more 1/6 scale figures going into 2026. We've got stuff from Hot Toys, from InArt, from Susu Toys, Present Toys, Caustic Plastic, XO6, Iconic Studios, the list goes on. We've got more episodes of Grail or Fail, we've got more previews, more news, we've got more tours and showcases. So as I mentioned at the top there, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're not missing any of the 1/6 scale goodness that we've got coming up. And I suppose all it remains for me to say is, from myself and from Gipsy Danger, as always, a massive thank you for watching, and until next time on the channel, take care of yourselves, happy collecting, and it's over to the showcase.